Hey guys, what's going on? This is the ultimate lead converting machine here at Contractor Kings. Well, technically it's a website, but we like to call it a lead converting machine because if it doesn't get you leads, then it's really not doing its job. It's not a website. Let's hop right into it. So first things first, we go ahead and get your onboarding form. Now that's a loaded form full of about 20 to 30 great questions to get more deeper context into your business. Unique selling points, just get an idea for your brand identity and your brand voice, specific special offers, financing, anything maintenance plan related, anything unique about your business to set you apart from your competitors and really just help us knock this whole line of fulfillment out of the park. Okay. From that point at the onboarding form, we go ahead and get your professional media shoot booked. This is very important. We have amazing photographers in all 50 states, and pretty much every single city could be reachable in the 50 states for you. Super important, guys. If you don't have professional media on your website, the competitors who do, they're beating you. Like you probably heard us talk about, traffic, trust, and conversion. This is just the first element of trust here. At the same exact time, we're taking that onboarding form and we're creating your hyper local traffic strategy. Okay. And all that really is taking a deep dive into where your service area is, the search terms people are searching for your services currently, where the most of that traffic is going to your competitors, find the best possible competitors we can, and reverse engineer their traffic strategy and make yours better based off reverse engineering theirs. Keyword research, a few things go into that. Keyword research, figure out what the terms are people are searching in your area. So HVAC near me, emergency HVAC contractor near me, emergency HVAC service, HVAC installation near me, best HVAC company in my area near me, right? So we're doing all this keyword research based on all your services, all your service locations, and cross-referencing everything, okay? Which essentially creates your sitemap. So your sitemap, think of it like a table of contents. Okay, this is the table of contents of your website. This is the foundation. URL structuring, making sure that's part of the keyword research, making sure the URLs are structured in terms that people are typing those keywords, typing for your services, and based on your current area, what the best strategy for that is. And then we also create the rough draft content from a super secret standard operating procedure. About 40 to 50,000 words are going to be in each website. And so we use that SOP. That's really just going to help us bring out the correct keywords because Google is against this thing called keyword stuffing. So we have to make sure there's enough content to make sure that the keywords we're targeting aren't being stuffed. So that's why we need to make sure the content is very good. And that's what that standard operating procedure accomplishes for us. And at the same time, that sitemap is going to create about 50 to 100 keyword-rich pages, okay? So we got about 50 to 100 pages based on your area, based on your business, based on your services. And we create the rough draft content for those pages. So like services, location pages, financing pages, all your unique sections, your unique business sections, and then all the duplicate sections like services and locations. And then we also, if you currently have any good, your URL's good, it's going to rank well. And if you have any current authority with your website, we're also going to make sure we preserve any SEO that has currently been done. That when we launch this thing, you're not getting penalized. And it's just done to the best practices. At that point, on-page SEO is about finished up, the foundation of your house. And the best part is it's backed by 10 years of SEO experience from our team. Moving on here to content writing. So we create the draft content here, but then we go ahead and refine it. So something you guys need to understand about content and websites and just anything on the internet is it's not just your potential clients and your current clients reading your website's content. Two people read your website's content. One, your client, family, whoever, and two, Google's crawlers. They have search engines, and crawlers' jobs is mainly to scour the web for new information, kind of like credit, right? If you get a new credit card, your credit line increases, missed payment, etc., it's going to update. Same thing. That's what Google's crawlers do. Is they're constantly going through millions and billions of websites and updating things based on what's been changed. So we go ahead and move that to the content writer section. Now this is a two-pronged section here. So our project manager, she's actually a software engineer and a professional writer. Her job to do is to tailor this to your client, tailor it towards marketing, tailor it to making sure 24/7 emergency service is available, making sure those keywords are sounding right towards the brand voice and identity of your company. And then our content writers, their main job is to go ahead and make sure it's readable for Google. So making sure those crawlers are reading EEFT approved guidelines, which is essentially Google's best practice for content. Okay, so just to make sure you're not getting any penalization, but most importantly, making sure you're getting a boost because the content is just great quality content and Google's crawlers understand it without a shadow of a doubt. And that goes ahead and gives us the final content for your website. And before we move on to here, if you've ever noticed your website isn't really getting any traffic or you're not really getting much leads like from your website, 95% of the time, it's because one of these two things is done wrong. You have to make sure they're both done right. It doesn't matter if you do this right and this wrong, or this right and this wrong. You need to have both of them done correctly. Otherwise, you're going to get penalized. At that point, we go ahead and take that final content. And remember that professional media shoot we were talking about? We have that waiting for design to start. So we bring that professional media over to our professional designers, and we take that final content and go ahead and merge it in here with the home. We start with the home page and really make sure that home page matches your brand identity and your brand voice. And we really focus on making sure everything is unique and owner-led, team-led. Because the thing is, HVAC is a very, you need trust. You need a lot of trust in the HVAC industry. You know, there's people charging $20,000 for the same unit. People are charging $12,000 for it, right? So when someone goes on this website, we want them to see a person, a neighbor, a friend, a family member. We don't want them to see a corporation, because that's the advantage companies like you have over the big giants, is your people. And other people, your clients, want to work with people. But if they can't see that, they won't know it. So that's why we go ahead and focus on just strong owner-led marketing and using a bunch of forms of trust, as you can see here. At that point, we go ahead and get your final homepage design. And based off the brand voice and the color scheme and everything off the homepage, we create your service pages, your location pages, your blogs, your contact us page, your about us page, etc. Custom, aligning with the homepage that you have already approved. And before we go ahead and hand that off to our team of developers, our head designer with a degree from the University of London and the University of Greenwich goes ahead and gives it the final approval, adds any finishing touches need be to just make it an 11 out of 10. Okay. At that point, we take that design and we take the rest of the final content and we merge it with our developers, right? Because with the design here, it's going to be 2D. What the development does is it turns it into a real website, a functional website. So when you click on homepage, it brings you to the homepage. When you hover over a button, you can see that it's highlighted. When you scroll, some things move, right? So our development, at that point, they take it. We go ahead and do the homepage development and develop the service page and a location page. And at that point, we go ahead and get your approval again. And once we go ahead and get that approval, obviously you guys have unlimited revisions from the design, from the development. We go ahead and get that approval. And that's when we go ahead and duplicate the rest of the service pages, the rest of the location pages, and all those unique pages with unique context towards your business, like about me, maintenance plan, special offers, financing, stuff like that. At that point, we go ahead and get your final approval from development. And once we get that final approval, at the same exact time, we're going to go ahead and start on technical SEO as soon as we launch it. So we go ahead and launch your website. There's a few top secret strategies we have to get your website indexed as soon as possible. It's very important. That could also be another reason as to why you're not noticing any traffic to your website. What indexing means in simple terms is if you're not indexed, you're not stored in a search engine like Google or Edge or Firefox. You're not stored in their internal data, which means Google's crawlers or Google's search console, they don't understand what you do. So if they don't understand what you do, you don't have a sitemap, you don't have anything, these things set up for Google to read it, they're not going to understand what you do. And if Google doesn't understand what you do, they're not going to show you to people, right? So this whole process is a semantic process to know without a shadow of a doubt to earn trust and conversion from your clients and traffic from your clients, but also show Google without a shadow of a doubt exactly what you do and exactly who your target audience is. Because when they understand that, they're going to be more inclined to show you to other people. Okay. So at that point, we go ahead and launch the website after your final approval. Immediately get started working on technical SEO. Okay. Technical SEO is, we talked about content writing, and that's more so Google understanding what you do and how good of the quality is the content. What technical SEO is it's more so Google's understanding of how the average user experience is on your website. So if a user, a civilian, a human goes onto your website, how is the user experience? Is it good? Is it bad? And there's a few metrics. We'll just go over a few. We won't go over all of them, but there's just a few of them. Like we said, indexing, that's important, making sure Google understanding what you do is showing that you have a good user experience. Page speed, making sure all the photos are optimized correctly, making sure everything is the right size, schema markup, robot, everything like that. As well as we go ahead and set up your analytic tracking, all the forms to make essentially your strategy better. As far as just like user experience, user interface on your website, how can we crank the conversion rate a little bit more? Where are most people stopping to scroll? How far are people scrolling? Right. So setting up all those all the real time tracking, so we can really just ultimately scale your company and not just stop at great, but get to amazing. Right. So security, make sure everything has firewalls and everything's good to go. Mitigate any 404 errors. There's a few other things as well. We won't go into that in this video, but point is, this could be another reason as to why, if you've noticed you're not getting any traffic on your website, the user experience in Google Eyes of your website sucks. So they're not going to show it to other people. Okay. So we really make sure we focus on getting that good, make sure the user experience in Google Eyes is great. So there's no excuse for Google not to show you to other people. So at that point, we're going ahead and targeting all the correct keywords. All the content makes sense in Google's eyes. We got you indexed. They understand exactly what you're doing and who you're trying to do it for. At that point, we go ahead and start on your off-page SEO. Now, let me just give a quick breakdown or recap as how far we've come, and I'll put it in an analogy for you, okay? So your website's a lead converting machine, right? So in an analogy, what we did was the website was busted, okay? It didn't have one of traffic, trust, or conversion, or it didn't have all three, or it maybe only had one of the three, right? So we redid the website. We ripped out the dead grass. It wasn't working, or it wasn't working as good as it should have. So we went ahead and fertilized the soil, got all the low quality soil out, put the highest quality soil in, and planted the best possible seeds, okay? So you now have a perfect foundation to grow MLB level grass. That's your goals, MLB level grass. Now, what we do now is we have that planted. All we need is sunshine and rain. And that is off-page SEO, okay? So to put it in an analogy for you, on-page SEO, that's going to be the foundation of your house. Think your website like a house. Technical SEO, that's going to be the wiring and the framing. Now, the off-page SEO is going to be the landscaping and the curb appeal, adding equity to the house, right? And the reason we focus on it last is because you're not going to be focusing on landscaping of a house if your foundation is cracked or if the wiring and framing of your house is jacked up, right? So now it's time, everything is set up properly, to go ahead and add some sunshine and rain, get some curb appeal and good landscaping going, okay? Break this down for you really quick. The more authority you have in Google's eyes, what authority means is how much Google trusts your site. How trustworthy are you, right? The more authority you're going to have, the higher of a head start you are going to have when it comes to launching a new website, okay? So the first thing we're doing right out the gate is getting you high quality, white hat backlinks, okay? And all a backlink is a link from a website, a high authority website, linking back to yours. So if a high trusted in Google's eyes website is linking back to yours, your website is inevitably going to gain trust from Google and your authority is going to go up, right? So right out the gate, high quality white hat backlinks, get that authority up. So Google trusts you. So they show you to more people, right? We go ahead and focus on keyword targeted blogs with standard operating procedures to make sure they read great and it's tailored to your audience. It's going to help you get more traffic. At the exact same time, we've already started on your Google business page optimization. And that Google business page optimization is going to really help you rank within that 20-mile radius. There's a plethora of things we can do with the Google business page optimization to get you ranking top 3 or at least a lot higher than you currently are now. At the same exact time, understand this. You're not going to double your business overnight, guys. Anyone who calls you and tells you, you've probably heard this a million times, oh, we'll rank you number 1 in a month. It's bullshit, okay? It's a scam, right? It's good things ain't cheap. Cheap things ain't good. We've all learned that as kids. And as adults, learn lessons like that. So what we do is to hedge the fact that your Google business page and your website is going to take 3 to 4 months to rank and your website about 6 months to rank. We go ahead and run local service ads or targeted social media ads from our ad specialists who have plenty of proven results. You can ask for the portfolio or the case studies of really scaling and making sure these ads are doing a good job. So we run those ads to mitigate and hedge the fact that it's going to take 3 to 6 months for your Google business page and your website to start ranking. Okay. At that point, an optional service, if you had it, is social media domination, and that's more organic. Your friends, your family, your current customers who are already seeing it, making sure you look trustworthy online, making sure there's not just a post every year, making sure there's at least 10 to 12 posts per month, showing your clientele that you're active. And you'd be surprised, guys. I go on Facebook pages all the time, and I ask myself, like, are these guys in business? Because there hasn't been a post for a year, or there hasn't been a post for 4 months, or there hasn't been a post for 2-3 years. So it's super important to go ahead and keep doing that. At that point, that is our full-fledged water and rain and sun, and that's gonna really get you cranking. So point being, if you plan on doing a website, either just get a super cheap one or do it the right way. Anything in between doesn't really make sense. So when you do a website, make sure it's a lead converting machine and not just a pretty business card. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.